Hey guys, welcome to our podcast. My name is Johnny and this is Pete Mikulka. Welcome. Today we are going to talk about commercial lighting.
Actually, Johnny, I wanted to talk about insubordination in the workplace today.
He wanted me to leave my phone outside. And I felt like I was, being talked to like a child.
Yeah, I know,
wouldn't
but
do it.
Christine, where do you weigh in on this? Like, all I was saying was like, dude, you got to concentrate. Like, put your phone outside.
Can't have a distraction.
Right,
when you're
see?
filming.
So anyway,
Right.
855 Mikulka. We are the Mikulka group. We're down here at 275 Route 79 North in Morganville. So today, we are going to talk about commercial lighting. That is a fact. We're going to talk about lighting controls and get into a little bit of that. But holy cow, my head is going to explode because your topic today,
Oh, the roots of heavy metal.
the roots of heavy metal.
Dun, dun.
Good God. I am so excited to talk about that. I can't tell you. I'm going to rush through this commercial lighting segment. All right, in all seriousness. So at Commercial Electric, we do commercial lighting. And what do we mean by commercial lighting? That is it covers a lot of different ground. Just like the electric field in general covers so much ground. One of the things that people don't quite grasp or even know is that the same electrician that works in the airport or the high-rise apartment or the underground mining facilities or the guy that puts the lights in your house, we all have the same licensing. It's the same license. In New Jersey, there's no different grade of license. So you can have an electrical contractor's license and do work in precious metal forging facilities, or you can have an electrical license and work in somebody's backyard. It's all the same licensing. So the electrical field is so broad that
Underground mining.
yeah, it's true. So in any event, it's important to get to have a feel and a comfortability with your electrical professional that he knows this field of electrical work that he's going to do for you. Because putting a light in a high-rise building is a different story than putting a light in somebody's house. Also putting a light in a warehouse or putting a light in a parking lot. It's a whole different story, and different equipment is needed to do all those different types of installations. So commercial lighting can be anything from parking lot lights to warehouse lights, to office lights. But the thing that I wanted to focus on more than just the type of lighting itself is about the lighting controls. Again, when people talk about lights, one of the things that they forget to talk about is the lighting controls. And in the world of commercial work and commercial installations, lighting controls is a huge, huge deal. And that is because we have green initiatives and energy efficiency things that we have to deal with, Energy Star ratings. Right. You know how you go to a grocery store now and all the freezer cases are dark until you walk up to them and then they light up. That's energy control. That's energy management. So everything has that now. HVAC systems, lighting systems, anything that uses a lot of energy that can be turned off and on to conserve energy is going to be controlled by these devices. So commercial lighting goes hand in hand with lighting controls. And that's a whole field of installation unto itself. But these are the kind of things that you need to take into consideration. A lot of times we get a call, hey, listen, I got a couple lights out in my building. Can you come in and fix it? And we always have to ask a lot of questions. And that's one of the things that probably people, I feel that, sometimes people might get annoyed with is like, they get like quizzed.
Oh yeah, why can't you just come here?
Right, while we're on the phone with you, it's like, okay, because we have to determine what exactly is your situation? Because again, going back to what I started with, it's so broad. Mm-hmm. You might have a warehouse that has a lighting control system that I can't just go up and change those lights. It might be a bank of contactors that's out. And so all of these have to be taken into consideration with commercial lighting. The last thing I want to touch on is egress lighting, which is basically exit and emergency lighting. That's really important. If there's a fire, if there's a power outage, egress lighting means that there's a lighted path to the nearest exit. Really, really important for fire code stuff, really important for building code stuff, and we certainly can take care of that as well. I also just want to touch on retrofits. This is a big deal. A lot of people have old fluorescent type lighting, and right? They have ballasts, and
Yes.
the ballasts are always going bad, and they're always having to change the bulbs and that sort of thing. So a lot of the work that we do is retrofitting LEDs into the old fluorescent or metal halide fixtures. So we do all that. So we can handle all that stuff for you. If you have a building with lighting controls, if you have a high work, 30-foot ceiling, right? You go into a warehouse, you don't know if it's a 15-foot ceiling, if it's a 40-foot ceiling, do I need a lift?
That's one of the questions I ask for sure. How high is it? How high is it? Yeah.
Exactly. So all these things get taken into consideration, and we can help you with all that. So that is commercial lighting. It is one of our specialties. We have access to the equipment. We have access to the, the interior equipment, the exterior equipment, lifts, bucket trucks, that sort of thing. We have all that, and we can certainly help you out with that.
And the talent.
And the talent.
And the talent.
And the talent, as always. So if you have a commercial lighting project, whether it's new work or a retrofit or, a lighting control project, give us a call at 855-Mikulka.
855-Mikulka.
Give Johnny a call in the office over here at 275 Route 79 North in Morganville, New Jersey. And now I am so excited because Johnny is going to talk about the roots of heavy metal. And I know a thing or two about
Well,
this.
I'm going to lean on you for this because this is, more your bag. Yeah. When I was listening to Prince, you were, you know what I mean? Listening to Red.
I was listening to Iron Maiden.
The roots of heavy metal.
Yes.
So, the band that comes to mind, and I think anybody's mind, would be Black Sabbath.
Yes.
Black Sabbath.
Black
and
Sabbath.
I was always under the impression that Tony
Iommi.
That's terrible. I know this, but I can't retain information.
He's a god. Man.
Well,
I
always thought he was. I thought what made heavy metal different from you standard rock and roll was kind of based in the blues, and that heavy metal was based in classical playing styles. But I asked Pete this question earlier, and he corrected me and said it was the.
Well, look, okay, so let me get with this a little bit, right? And I mean, anybody listening to this that listens to music and plays music is going to have a lot to say, and that's fine. Johnny will always take a couple minutes off of work to talk to you about any music or movie topic, so it's fine. So if you disagree with anything I say, that's fine. And I always like to preface important topics like this with the idea that, hey man, I could be wrong, but here's my take. So look, the reason that I believe you got that confused is because you had guys like Randy Rhoads and Brad Gillis, and these guys are classically trained, and they were incredible heavy metal guitar players, right? And they were classically trained people. But the roots of heavy metal going back to and there were guys even before Tony Iommi, but let's start with him. Let's start with Black Sabbath. And so that has to do with the Dorian scale, with the Old English. Right, there's pentatonic, on the guitar. There's different scales, and the Dorian scale is the chord structure and the notes that he played that gave it that eerie feeling. Now this is interesting stuff. So there are certain chords that were outlawed. You were not allowed to play certain chords because they were considered the devil's chords.
Oh, I love that.
D minor.
I love that.
You weren't allowed to compose in D minor, right? Because back in the day, the Catholic Church and stuff, you weren't allowed to compose music in D minor because it was considered the devil's key.
Well, it's good if it's the devil's.
Right. So, the devil's key. So in any event, that's really where the roots of heavy metal kind of come from, in that, not so much that glam rock type heavy metal, but that real organic sounding, Black Sabbath, like their first album, that's all that, that really creepy.
Oh, yeah, well, and Masters of Reality.
Yeah, super creepy. Super creepy music.
Solitude.
And then they all they all just kind of bit off that. And that's really that's why I think those guys were so influential, because I don't even know if anybody thought to play in those kind of chords except for the surfer guys, right? Because the surfer guys, what the surf guys did was they used Middle Eastern scales. So they took a little bit of blues, a little bit of rock, and a little bit of chord structure from Middle Eastern music. And that's where that surf sound comes from.
Really?
Add a little reverb.
Right.
Yeah,
like the Ventures?
Yeah, those are middle. Yeah. And who's the guy? The surf. I can't.
Bobby. No.
Anyway.
Yes.
Right, that guy. You know who we're talking about if you're listening.
Let us know.
Yes. So give us a call, 855-Mikulka, or stop down at Route 275 Route 79 North. in Morganville. But yeah, so the surfer guys, right? It's Middle Eastern stuff.
That was
Dick Dale.
Dick Dale.
Dick Dale.
Of course.
Yeah, thank
yes.
Right, that's the amazing surf guitar player. So I think it's my, again, I could be wrong, but my contention that some of that surf music, you know, mixed with that heavier stuff, you know, that was going on in like 64, 65, ended up, you know, flipping the whole thing on its head, started entering into playing that old Devil's chord Dorian scale type music, and was the ultimate roots of heavy metal. What do you think about that?
That's awesome.
That's a dissection.
That was a great segue from heavy metal right into surf.
I know.
You know what I mean? That was good.
Yeah, we should talk about surf and punk and all that at some point, right?
That's, you know, we might have to take a whole hour for that.
I know.
So.
Well, listen, and also, just incidentally, if you guys would like to have any electrical work done, yeah, you can give us a call at 855 Mikulka. All right, guys, until next time, stay safe, be good, and we'll see you next time. Take care.